in the courthouse where time stood still. Generations pass on the hill, prosecutors come and go, defense attorneys putting on a show. Old district attorney thought she was tight, came in to visit her at night. They said justice was blinded by her sins. As the trial spun, no one wins. Endless trial like a river flows. Truth and lies, nobody knows. Corruption's grip tight as a vice. In this endless trial, we pay the price.
Hey, folks. We are on Mistrial Watch. And yeah, but there were some questions yesterday. Will they begin directly in the morning or will they begin after lunch? And I do believe we have one answer. Somewhat. Let me share this with you. From Dennis Byron, the reporter, legal. Well, they are in the courtroom. This is a picture of the Zoom feed. So yeah, apparently they are in the courtroom. Does this mean they will start anytime soon? No. We don't know what's going on inside the courtroom as of now. Are they well, yeah. We simply don't know. But I mean, he's giving a thumbs up. But there might be stuff with the prosecution and the defense and the judge that simply is not for public view, especially if there are negotiations going on. Someone said 11:30. Might be. But this is from Dennis Byron. And so, yeah. And he's there at court. Thug says the defense has all individual meetings. Yeah. I mean, everybody there of the defendants have different circumstances. You have some that have very few charges in this RICO trial, some who have a lot. You have a person who is already in prison. So of course there has to be individualized talks and meetings, and they are all representing their own client. So, hello, folks, by the way. No Cursen, Erin, Olivia, Brenda, Diogo, Rachel, Wendell, Snivels, Shafos, Jessica, Katrina, Kristen, Eric, Deanna, Berta, Auditing, Jive, Daily, Steph. Wendell, in their personal opinion, what's going on in the court is corruption. I tend to agree with that. Whitaker is making up excuses for the state. Oh yeah, she has. And then this judge came on with marching orders. That I don't know. Not official, at least. But apparently, she came in with the mindset that this is going to the jury. And yesterday, that Kat said, yay, Abt says court at 11. Attorneys are meeting with Fani. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, let's open a package, folks, while we wait for anything. Of course, I don't. I don't have a knife. Of course, I have a knife. It's just that it is. Hold on. It's just that I don't have letter knives, so not the usual thing I open packages with, but hey, no. I'm just trying to. Dun, dun, dun. Time to avoid not cutting me in my own leg. This is a package which I actually know what it is, because it is from. Come on, it is from my merch store, and which I just needed something to come on. Yeah, that says everything about this trial, which means I can go into the office and I can clearly say, no, I am not an unindicted co-conspirator. And on the other side, free thug. So yeah, this is now in my merch store. Do I have a link to it? Do I have a link to it? I should have prepared. Dun, dun, dun. Listings. Let's see here. It should. There. What? Well, there is also a t-shirt. So I will share the link to my free thug merch. It is and there. Link is now and I don't claim copyright or anything over this. So I don't even have, as you see, I don't even have my logo on it. I don't even have my logo. So if you want to support my channel while making a statement, go right ahead and order from my merch store. If you want to print your own stuff, go right ahead. Just go right ahead. I mean, I'm not the important person here. I'm not the important person here. Yeah. Double negative. Yes. JOK. Hello, April. Oh, hola, señor. April O'Neill's baby daddy. Yeah. Hello. One of my younger nephews, when he found my business card, which I have. I don't have any here. Oh, because my official title is senior negotiator, and he asked me, "Are you moving to Spain?" And that was so sweet. And but I had to say, sadly, no. It's not that kind of senior. Hello, proverbial fly from Florida. from Florida. Okay, if the statements are that we are waiting for 11, then hey, du kör ett bunny. Good morning. We'll go into, see here, Thug Daily. Okay. Here is from Thug Daily. Defense teams have individual appointments scheduled with Fannie Willis and Adrian Love this morning. Ashley Merchant has an update. Ashley writes, everyone wonders if there will be pleas in the YSL case. I don't have any idea, but let's put things in perspective. These people are in jail in conditions worse than most third world countries' jails. They have seen the first judge get away with completely ignoring the law without any actual consequence. They have seen a lawyer locked up for doing his job. They have seen repeated violations of basic concepts of fairness and due process at the hands of the prosecution. If those same prosecutors say, we will let you walk free today, or else you can stay in jail without bond and we will continue to trample your rights without any immediate recourse, who would be able to walk away from that? Yeah, it kind of all depends on the people, on the defendants, on the 6 defendants here. And what are they prepared to sign to avoid another 2 years in jail? Now, for Mr. Williams, it is kind of different. Mr. Williams have not waived his speedy trial, which means that for the prosecution to go after him, I believe the number I've seen is they have 2 months to start the trial, which means also, and this is from Judge McAfee, who in his opinion, in a separate issue, trial begins with the jury sworn in, which means if they want to do a RICO with these 6 defendants and Mr. Williams, they need to find a jury and curse them in or swear them in within 2 months. A lawyer was saying November 5th. That is the end of this court sequence. So I'm not sure. But the number that seems most reasonable to me is 2 months. Because November 5th is in, 11 days. And that won't happen. I don't see that happening. So for Mr. Williams, he might have a bigger bargaining chip than the rest of them. That doesn't mean the others don't have one, because the last few who took plea deals in this case don't have to testify, if I remember correctly. So the longer they waited, the better plea deal they got. But if this becomes a mistrial, then it is a new kind of ball game. Craig Cruden, that's an interesting thought. I think if there is a mistrial, RICO will not be it. It will be individual underlying charges rather than redoing the RICO trial. A mistrial here is for all the charges, because they are all clumped together in a combined trial. So they can't, the prosecution can't choose which part is the mistrial. Recharging is another issue. And because there have been some things done in this trial that deserves a word from the appellate courts or the Georgia Supreme Court. Now, if there is a mistrial, will that restart? So, as Ashley Merchant says, the conditions in Fulton County jails, they are worse than any normal person can imagine. Because most of us never subject ourselves to it. And Craig Cruden, double jeopardy only applies to RICO, not the underlying charge, if not charged in this case. I'm not entirely sure. If there is a mistrial without prejudice, there is no double jeopardy. It's only a double jeopardy issue if there is a mistrial with prejudice. Gwendolyn, so would those that have, let me get that up. So would those that have been charged but are not in the courtroom now also have a mistrial declared for them as well? No. They are severed from this trial. So their trial haven't even started yet. So it's not for them. Only for this trial. And also, if there is a mistrial, the prosecution might go forward with the other people, hoping to get a conviction in those instead, and getting jury convictions in those trials. That might be used in the coming RICO trial against these 6 defendants. Dun, dun, dun. Then will this be an opportunity for the prosecution to finesse the way they are presenting this case? Well, it is an opportunity, but it's still garbage. It's every piece of this trial, the evidence that has been brought forward are complete garbage. They can polish it. And now also the defense is on warning. They spent the first 6 months chasing whatever the state tried to present and hide from them up until the for instance, Detective Gaither. They brought forward evidence in her testimony the first time around that they had no idea was being brought. And also, back then, her reports, who was mysteriously missing, parts of it has now showed up. So there will be, if they choose to recharge these guys, it's a completely new ballgame. Now, what speaks against favorable plea deals? Well, Fani Willis has an election coming up, and this is a loss for her if this becomes a mistrial. But you can't avoid that. Unless, in my opinion, she gives out swings and roundabouts kind of plea deals, good in some ways, bad in some ways, just to get it over with. And then she has to fire Adrian Love. She has to. And probably Miss Hilton as well. That way she can survive politically when she has somebody to blame. In my opinion. Okay, her name is Fani Willis, not Fanny Williams. by the way. Oh, Glanville will be furious. So I will not address anything about the political climate in Georgia and voter issues or anything like that. This is not that type of channel. So let's see here. Against counseling couch. The problem with not trying it as RICO is that the Donovan Thomas murder is the only thing not past statute of limitations. So if no RICO, no charges against the others not directly charged with that. Yes. The two murders, the Donovan Thomas and the one they are currently arguing about, if those are severed, everything else is out the window. It's only because of those two murder charges, everything else can, from 2014, 2015, 2016, can be brought as overt acts. Since statute of limitations on murder, well, there isn't one. That they took that in order to bring in the other cases. If the murder charges are severed, they can't charge anyone for the 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, all the way up to 2019 almost. Everything up until 2019 is gone because of statute of limitations on those things. Melissa Brown, are plea deals on the record? Yes. They will be on the record. There has to be presentation of the plea deal to the judge, and whenever that will be. Is Hilton pregnant? I actually don't know. If she is, she's been pregnant for a very long time, because she has had the equivalent of that baby bump since February. In what order will things happen? Well, if they negotiate somewhat favorable plea deals, what will happen is that the judge will declare a mistrial. Then there might be bond hearings, and then plea agreement hearings. So even with a mistrial now, we are far from over. So let's not celebrate before everything is done. You still have to get the guys out on bond who can be. They still have to go through the plea agreement hearings, and the judge has to agree to it. Glanville is case daddy? Not anymore. Glanville, if Glanville injects himself again in this, that is an unforced error for immediate reversal. I mean, that would be a breach of the code of conduct. If we find out about it. The Maniac Smith, will they have time to retry Young Thug, considering that he has a speedy trial? That will be really, really hard for, even if they have 2 months to do it. They can't charge him with any. He has to be charged with somebody who has a murder charge. He can only be charged under the RICO Act, because everything they claim about him is the statute of limitations are long gone. Long gone. Because there's no way in history they can say he ordered any of the murders. That's just, there's no way. So even if say they have 2 months to get a jury sworn in, They have to find a jury. And you can be damn well sure that the defense will ask every one of the juror or the juror, potential jurors as a group, can you be in a 1-year trial? I mean, they took them 11 months last time. Now, Judge Glanville wasn't effective by any stretch of the imagination, but finding that jury, a jury that can be seated for a year, nah. 1 year, that's optimistic. Yeah, in this case, yes, but for get a jury seated, yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, Ken's counseling couch, for you who don't know, is a very ironic and sarcastic. He says, I will be sad if the case is mistrialed. I've been listening to it on my 6-hour drive to the IVF clinic. Oh. How would they find a jury who doesn't know about this case? It's international. You would be surprised how few actually cares about this trial, even in Atlanta. I mean, even in Georgia, this barely makes news. Now this, if there is a mistrial, yes, that will be news. But there are a lot of people out there whose only interest is, I'm going to work, I'm going home from work, I'm going to sleep with my wife 2.3 times a week and try to raise my 1.8 children and then repeat. Do they have RICO without Williams? Yeah. I mean, the conspiracy is still there, according to the state. They just don't have him as the leader, but they didn't before that now. STS gifted a membership. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. That's so nice of you. And for you, Britta, you have now access to all my members-only content. Congratulations. Let's see. Have there been some updates? Let me check the streams. None of the streams. Nope. So it seems to be that we are waiting for 11 a.m. And Phil Holloway, this is also Phil Holloway writes, whether or not any plea deal makes sense depends on the details of the deal. Let's not forget that every day people across America plead guilty just to get out of jail. He won't judge anyone for taking the deal. He won't judge anyone for opting to fight on. Unless everyone pleads out, it does not seem to do Fani Willis and company any good, because the incentive to cut a deal from her perspective is to end the trial and avoid the embarrassment of a mistrial due to incompetence. Yeah. In order for this, for Fani Willis, as I said earlier, she needs to get this loss to seem like a win. And in my opinion, the only way she can do that is somebody amongst these 6 needs to have some time. Even they can say, oh, we got them on 2.5 years in prison and 10 years probation. Yeah, but with the time served, it's just probation. But she can spin it. And then for the incompetence to getting to a mistrial, she needs to fire Adrian Love. She has to. I can't see how, because her political opponent in this coming election, I assume she will really drum up as much as possible. Kathy Russon? Oh. Let's see what Kathy Russon has to say. Let's see here. She does have some, well, updates. That's she's answering questions. Is the plea deal you plead to not guilty and we accept your plea? And she says no. What happened to the mistrial motion? No official word. Plea deals for all of them. All I know is plea deals are being discussed and now individual meetings with the DA. There's info being reported by Mr. Dennis Byron that he hears there is a plea deal. That's what we are all hearing. Let's see what Dennis Byron says. His sources are telling him there's a plea deal. Okay. But yeah, unless and until we hear anything from inside the courtroom, even though Mr. Byron is a reliable source of information, for me, it's still somebody told him, and I have to refer that to you. So please, folks, still everything until it's on paper, it's a rumor. Until the judge speaks out about it in court, it's a rumor. But if the defense attorneys goes out or the prosecution, Bonnie Willis goes out with a press conference or anything, yeah, okay, then we know. But there's still a lot of work. First, judge declares the mistrial, if she does. Then bond hearings. That could take a few days, maybe even a week or two. Then you have getting the rough, which I assume it is, the rough ideas for pleas down on paper. And that is another few weeks. So I'm not entirely sure. There will be updates on this going forward. For me as a content creator, don't worry. I have at least 15, 20 videos, best of videos and everything I can do with this. I have the other cases I'm covering. I've been doing the P. Diddy case, for example. I'm looking into that more and more. You have the Rex Hoyer man, the Bondi Beach serial killer. That is ongoing. Trial must be at least a year away. Then you have the Donna Adelson trial, a family matriarch who ordered allegedly the hit on her daughter's ex-husband, so that her daughter could get full custody and move the kids closer to grandma. Other than that, you have the Bonnie Willis debacle still ongoing, the FOIA requests. So don't you worry about me. There will be plenty of fusterclucks for me to cover. But I told Doug yesterday that regardless, I'm going to Atlanta next year. Regardless, I don't know if it is a second attempt on a RICO trial, if it is appellate, the Georgia Appeals Court or the Georgia Supreme Court. or just to meet up with the lawyers, and hopefully, I really want to say hi to Mr. Williams. Just a brief meeting with Mr. Williams, and apologize for me doing a dramatic reading of his lyrics, which I did back in December. Oh, that was bad. Yeah, and so, there is so much with the Fani Willis debacle, and it seems like Nathan Wade threw her under the bus in some way or form. I mean, there's so much about Fulton County that is a complete clusterfuck. And in the midst of it, you have Judge McAfee, who seems to be, he's very new as a judge, but all I've seen of him tells me now, at least, that he seems to be one of the good ones. And he broadcasts his trials on his YouTube channel. So there is a bunch of 1 day, 2 day, 3 day trials for me to go through with you guys. Just to show you, even within Fulton County, there's a difference. Yeah, I will not cover the Trump RICO. Nah. That will be too inflammatory, if you get what I mean. Papa G Grows, cheers from Saskatchewan. He's from there. Saskatchewan? I don't know. Ken's counseling couch. Nick has only wanted to come back to Atlanta to go to the Tigibitties bar. Defamation. Yeah. Saskatchewan. Okay. Saskatchewan. Young Thug will be investing in Suno as a token of gratitude towards Nick. No, I don't see that. Would Woody plead the fifth in a second trial? That is interesting. Would he? What would Woody do? Would Woody do the same? And he will definitely get a better lawyer. No, I'm just kidding. No, Woody would probably get a better immunity deal. Much better immunity deal than what he got. Guy Vermectin, is it true that Hilton and Love were fighting? I heard that rumor too. And I've been hinting at it for months, because up until, I believe, May, they were always color coordinated. Then something happened, and they stopped color coordinating. But now, I'm not a fashion guy, but I do have 4 sisters who likes to, when they were younger at least, they didn't leave the house without nobody could stand out. Let's just say that. Steve Clark watching from England. Hello, Steve Clark. Nicola, would the state be allowed to impeach based on what witnesses said in this trial? Yeah, I do believe they can, because it is a prior statement under oath. Even though, just because there's a mistrial doesn't mean it never happened. Now, if, for instance, Mr. Oh, you had that thing about the plea deal that was an Alford plea, and that was revoked in the Georgia Supreme Court. That never happened, judicially speaking. A mistrial here. Yeah, well, people have still testified under oath. So yes, that could be used as inconsistent statements. Sue says, I need to send you Sylvia's video of love when she found out. Oh. DM me on X. DM me on X. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Here is my X handle. Oh, I forgot to. There, I forgot this one. This I'm going to pin actually. There. For you who just joined, if you see the free Thug merch or the link, that is for I have t-shirts and coffee mug with not an unindicted co-conspirator and free Thug. And t-shirts are from extra small up to 4 times XL, I think. The Maniac Smith, do you think another judge would qualify Gaither, Dennis, and Thorpe as experts considering their performance in this trial? Yes. Because in Georgia, you can be this incompetent and still be regarded as an expert in your field. So yeah, it was, I mean, for you who I've told this story a lot of times about the Daubert hearings back in January, February, March of 2023. The prosecution brought on a man which they wanted to have as a forensic video analyst expert. Then he took the stand and was questioned. And this is what he did and testified to. First of all, he has no formal training. That might not be an issue. But for the last 20 years or so, all he has done is he receives a video from the prosecution or the investigator with a timestamp. He plays up to the timestamp, pauses. Then the investigator or the prosecutor says, we want this piece enhanced. So what he does is he takes that screenshot, divide it in 4 equal parts. They want the upper left. And he does pinch and zoom. That's it. That's all he does. And now he wasn't entered as a forensic video analyst. He was entered by Judge Glanville as a video enhancement expert. My 3-year-old niece can do what he does. I had no idea that was a career. If I knew that was a career, I would have done it myself. Yeah, that video of the pinch and zoom guy, I mean, it's yeah, it was, it's so bad. It was so bad. Now, the prosecution still opted out from using him, and I understand why, because oh my God, that was and that guy had actually testified in state and federal court as a pinch and zoom guy. Papa G Gross, I watched videotapes on a VCR that had the clock not flashing 12:2. Am I qualified? According to Judge Glanville, you are. Just checking in here on what's been going on. Let's check Kathy Russell. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. She says on X, the earliest they are going to let us in the courtroom is 11:30-ish. 11:30-ish. What can we do meanwhile? Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see if I can find something fun for. Oh. Yes, the cross-examination by Mr. Williams. That was glorious. That we can do. That we can do while we wait. I'm not going to play the Wheel of Regrets. I have work tomorrow. But thank you for. Wait until tomorrow afternoon, my time. Then I can play the Wheel of Regrets. Check my email. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Let's see here. Let's see here. Dun dun dun. Let's see.
I'm gonna turn it down because you can't really hear something. Look at her face, y'all. Look at her face. Look at her face. Hilton was right there.
Ooh. Did you see that head snap? Oh. Oh. My overlay is a bit in the way here. Hold on while I temporarily do this. Look at that head snap.
Look at her, y'all. You look at her. Look at her, y'all. Look at her. Look at her.
Oh, she's pissed. Oh, she's
Look
pissed.
at her. Look at her. Look at her. Look.
Oh, she's pissed off. Here's the thing, folks. What does she has to do? Why? She can't be pissed. She's done worse herself. Why is she pissed at Miss Hilton? Ken's counseling couch. Did you hear Whitaker say the line about fixing your mistakes to the states? Yes, I did. And for me, you don't say that as a judge. Even worse was when she made the sunk cost fallacy in open court. The sunk cost fallacy is, she said something of the sort that we cannot have invested 10 to 12 months in this blah 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 blah. That is a sunk cost fallacy. That cannot ever be an argument in a trial setting, that there's a cost involved. You cannot have that as an argument at all. For instance, sunk cost means that you are too invested in something that you keep investing in it. In the private sector, it could be, I told this yesterday, that this is more than 10 years ago, and I don't have an NDA. Let's say, call it Company A. A lot of employees, a lot of revenue, I mean, a big company who made certain items which they profited from. But somebody high up had an idea for a new product, and they spent hundreds of millions on trying to get their customers to buy that product instead. And it didn't work. But they still believed it was such a good idea, they kept investing in it. And eventually, they went belly up. From being a good, profitable business with hundreds of employees, they went belly up. And they were warned all the time, stop playing with that idea. You have these products, they are profitable. But no, they really, really wanted that new thing. And they went belly up. And hundreds of employees overnight lost everything because some jackass higher up had an idea and couldn't let it go. And the same goes for this trial. That somebody higher up, Fonnie Willis, Adrian Love, whatever, or might be too invested. They can't let go. That is the sunk cost. And for the judge to say it, she cannot declare a mistrial because the jury has invested too much time in this, the prosecution has invested too much time in this. You cannot make that argument. It is a sunk cost fallacy. And in my opinion, and I believe there's case law, that is an automatic reversal on appeal. All right. Where? There we go. Okay, let's go back in time a bit and watch one. This is one of people. I've seen people say bad things about Mr. Williams, that she just sits there and does nothing. Oh, she was just biding her time. She was just biding her time. So let's listen to this. This is her cross-examination of the witness that got her client convicted for murder. For you who just joined, no,
morning,
we are
Ms.
not
Smith.
live. This is a recap.
So
of
yesterday
while
on
we were-
Direct, you said that you used to hang out at Bali's house.
Excuse me?
Yesterday on Direct, you said you used to hang out at Bali's house
Correct.
and you used to hang out on the 3rd floor.
It was
I think you-
everywhere, all over the house.
Okay, so you used to hang out on the bottom floor, the main
All over
house.
the house.
And so it's a 3-story house?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Okay. And there's a door on the 3rd floor, right?
I'm not sure. I really don't remember.
Okay. The mom walked out of the door when she was on the 3rd floor?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Okay. So you testified on direct that when you went outside that night, you got into BJ's car, right?
Correct.
And then he drove you, Tahira, Red, Jamari across the street
Yes.
because Tahira told you that there's a weed man over there.
Yes.
And then when the car stopped, Tahira got out the car to go buy some weed.
Yes.
And then she came back and got you and told you somebody wants to talk to you.
Correct.
And you're not familiar with that area.
No, I'm
You
not.
don't know anybody there.
No, I don't.
So you got out the car to go talk to somebody who you don't know in an unfamiliar area.
Yes, because I was scared. I didn't know what was finna go on.
And then that's when you say you saw Lil Rod and Bali running and shooting, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to approach you with what was previously marked as States Exhibit 11, November. Your Honor, may I approach? You may. You recognize this exhibit?
Yes.
So I'm going to hand you a copy of this exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to mark it as Defense Exhibit 1RR. I'm going to leave this with you. And I want you to
On this channel, there's only one thing that breathes fire, and that is my swoop. Folks, my swoop is the Norwegian fire farting dragon. You cannot sneak up on that. Maybe that. Oh, I should name that dragon Latrell after Adrian Latrell Love. Oh.
mark where you saw Lil Rod with an R. Use a sticker and write an R and put it on the blue copy. And then I want you to get another sticker and mark where you saw Bali with a B using the sticker. And then with the third sticker, I want you to mark where the charger was stopped with a C. I'm gonna get that from you, okay?
Look how nice she is. What a nice voice.
Sticker.
Very soft. A bit girly. Unassuming. Reeling this witness in with kindness.
Write it on there.
Right, write the letters on the sticker. And then can you also put an M where you were hiding in the bushes?
The bush is right there. You can see it.
Can you put the sticker on there? Thank you.
How nice she is. How nice she's talking to this witness. Now, she wasn't his attorney in his trial. So this is the first time, and she has all the information from that trial to go with. Plus, so other stuff that might have been in this discovery.
And I'll move to admit this as Defense Exhibit 1, Romeo into evidence.
It's admitted.
So now we're going to move on to your police interview after you were picked up, okay? Now, on direct yesterday, you said that you and BJ were friends, right?
I knew him, yeah.
Since 5th grade?
Yeah.
And you also told the detective that BJ put a gun to your head that night, correct?
Yes.
And you told so many other stories that the detective asked you if you knew the difference between a truth and a lie.
Yes.
In the first couple of hours of that interview, you kept saying that there was one shooter, true?
Yes, I did.
You said BJ was shooting, correct?
Yes, I did. I said a couple stuff. I was shook up. I was scared. I didn't know what to say. I never been in no situation like that before.
Okay.
Did that sound rehearsed to you guys? As if she's have repeated that phrase over and over again? Yeah, I think that sounded rehearsed.
And then towards the end of the police interview, Detective Hogan told you what he thought happened, right?
Correct.
And then after Detective Casey told you, this is the time for you to sing your ass off, because if not, you're gonna find your ass in fucking jail with these fools, right?
Correct.
And that's when you started adopting Detective Hogan's version that there were two shooters.
Yes.
And then that's when you started saying that there was a big gun.
It's never no big guy.
Big gun.
A big gun. I don't remember.
And that's when you started putting Lil Rod in your story, correct?
Yes.
So let's fast forward to the previous hearing in September of 2021 when you provided testimony, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first time anybody ever heard about you being trapped on this bottom floor, correct?
No.
Who'd you tell?
I told the police.
You told Detective Hogan?
No, I told the police when they came to get me, where I was inside the house.
So you told them on the way to the police station that you were trapped in a house?
No, I told my mom over the phone.
You
That's how
told your
You told the cops that you were trapped? And no, you told your mother. That's a bit inconsistent, don't you think? Mr. Williams is the nicest shark I've ever seen.
mother?
Yes, that's how the police knew where I was.
Okay. And did Detective Hogan bring that up during your interview?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
So would it refresh your memory to look at your prior testimony from your prior hearing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she says she says it so nicely. She says it so nicely. But before that, information from where did it go? Where did it go? I had it here. From Kathy Russell. Says 30 minutes ago, Each defense team is meeting with Fani Willis and Adrian Love individually. The second defense team is in there now. So, first defense team already had their meeting. Now it's the second and 4 to go. So, yeah, 11:30. It seems more and more that they are at least presenting what they want in order for, well, Fani Willis, she needs something, and they offer something, and they have a discussion. We don't know yet. Until they speak in court, it could go either way. But they are having conversations, because I don't think Fani Willis wants to do this again. She really doesn't. And because she can't afford it. That's one thing. Remember, folks, my rough calculation is that this trial has cost Fulton County taxpayers between $700,000 and $1 million per month. That is since November 28th up until now, which is 11 months, between $7.7 million and $11 million. There's no way Fulton County will give that kind of money to Fani Willis again. So Fani Willis needs these deals to, at least for the illusion of a win, in my opinion. All right, let's get back to this.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may. That looks like a pretty big binder. Are you going to point her to something in particular? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I'm not gonna have her flipping around. Yeah. No.
That's good.
No.
No, she is not Adrian Love and reads
Would you go
line by
to
line.
page 866?
For you who just joined, we are recapping cross-examination. Because cross-examinations in this
And then
file
to
has been
yourself?
excellent.
Read lines 6 through 13
To myself,
to yourself. And when you're done reading, you could just close the book or just look up. So I know that you're done.
And she sounds so nice when she takes huge chunk of, yeah, she's biting her through. She's the nicest shark around. This witness have no idea she's already done.
I looked at it.
Did that refresh your memory?
Yes, it do.
So you never told anybody that you were trapped in that basement?
Yes, I did. I told you, I told my mom.
Okay. And yesterday,
But your mother isn't testifying, and apparently there's no police reports stating that you were trapped in the basement or in the house. There's really nothing until sometime later when you all of a sudden invented this new narrative. Isn't that strange?
it was the first time anybody heard about Bali attacking you, correct?
Correct.
You kept that secret for about, 2019, 20, 21, 22, like 5-6 years?
Correct.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
And you would agree with me that you changed your past testimony several times about who had a gun that night?
No.
Oh, really?
Okay.
No?
Would it refresh your memory to look at the transcript?
I mean, if you want to put it up, that's cool. I'll look at it, refresh my memory if that's what you want to do.
Okay, so let's start with where you said Lil Rod had a gun. Go to page 809.
She's so good. She is so good.
Can y'all approach for just a second?
Oh. For those who wonder, the sidebar counter is as of now 314. And I already counted this sidebar once before, so I cannot add on to it. So, rough numbers. 1 recused judge, 49 motions of mistrial, which is roughly 1 every 3 days in this trial. 314 sidebars. What else do we have? Georgia Supreme Court went against Judge Glanville. I mean,
Did that refresh your memory?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
every piece of actual statistics in this trial is because the prosecution is incompetent.
So you said Lil Rod had a gun, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then let's go to sorry. And you said that several times that he had a gun, right?
Both of them had guns.
Okay. But then you also testified you didn't see anybody shooting that night, correct? You have to say it for the record.
Yes.
And you also testified that you didn't see any guns that night, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So she went from seeing no shooting and no guns to 2 guns and shooting. Yeah, okay.
And then also, while you were on that bottom floor, you just found a random phone?
Yeah, it was a phone at the house.
And there wasn't a passcode to get in the phone?
I don't remember, but I could call somebody, so apparently it wasn't.
But you didn't call 911 to let them know that you were trapped in this basement?
Nope, I called my grandma and my mom first. And by the time I
Wait. Did you call your mother or your grandma? But you didn't call 911 that you were trapped in a house where there was guns blazing. Okay.
called my mom, 911 was at her house.
And when you were on the phone with your grandmother and your mother, you told them, I just saw a shooting?
No, when I called my mama was yelling and screaming, telling me homicide at her door.
Court's indulgence.
So Miss Whatever's on the witness stand. You actually found you were trapped in the basement where you found a phone you could use. And you called your mother and grandmother claiming you were trapped, but you never said it to the cops. And you started out with telling cops you saw nothing. And then 4 or 5 years later, all of a sudden, you saw a lot of things, which you also didn't testify to in the actual trial against regarding that shooting. Yeah. You know what? It's easy to remember the truth, but it's hard to remember if all you do is lie. She found an unlocked phone in the basement of a house. Let's have a showing of hand. These people in that house were allegedly dealing with drugs. How do you believe they would have phones laying around unlocked? Show of hands. Who would believe that? Yeah, me neither. It's almost as if she had a phone, then start. Doesn't this sound like a setup with her as the setup?
Questions, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, are there other defense attorneys with questions for this witness?
May I retrieve my?
Yes, certainly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, is there redirect? Sure.
Let's listen to
One or two questions for you.
Recross.
Okay.
So BJ, that's the gentleman that you've known for 5th grade or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. BJ threatened you, right?
Mhm.
BJ, and then after that threat was made, BJ, after that threat was made, then your house was shot up. Is that right? Afterwards.
I really can't remember.
Okay. So you don't remember the threat, then the house getting shot?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I have.
All right.
Oh, wait a minute. Your house was shut up after that person made threats, but why is then that person on trial? Yeah. Let's find another while we wait. Let's find another cross-examination. Let's find another cross-examination. Hold on while I go find another cross-examination. Or Abasi from yesterday. Good choice. Joey's first fan. Let's find Abasi's cross-examination from yesterday of Bad Santa cop. There it is. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. I mean, Mr. William and Miss Abasi, they are playing good cop, bad cop. Now, this gentleman up there, Bad Santa cop, was really obnoxious. As I haven't actually covered this in either video or stream. So this will be, I've listened to parts of it, but not all of it. So a few of these things might be a fresh reaction from me. Oh, we have subtitles.
Good morning, Detective.
Good morning.
Coming into today, have you had a chance to review the interviews you did with the witnesses you spoke to?
Not all of them, but yes.
Okay. You haven't had a chance to review them?
I haven't reviewed, I reviewed Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Uten's recently. The others have not.
Okay. All right. So I want to start. You've been an officer for quite a while, yes?
Yes.
And so you know that when you are getting information from people, it is of the utmost importance to make sure it's accurate, right?
Yes.
And that's one thing you were doing with Ms. Smith, is confronting her with facts to test whether what she was saying was accurate, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And especially in a situation kind of with young people, they may not always be fully forthcoming in the beginning, correct?
It's not limited to young people, but yes.
Right. Especially if they think there's something they could get in trouble for, correct?
Yes.
All right. And the folks that you were speaking with in this situation, they were not, well, the two young men you spoke with, they were not lawfully allowed to have weapons, were they?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So that's something they theoretically could get in trouble for if they admitted to it.
Yes.
Okay. So when you're speaking with them, when you're speaking with Ms. Smith, you're asking questions to make sure you can verify things. One of the things you told Mr. Mitchell you would do was get his Instagram records, correct?
I may have, that doesn't come to mind off the top of my head, but it would be something I would do, but I don't remember if I told him that.
Would it help refresh your recollection to see a copy of a transcript from that interview?
Sure, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, folks, isn't it weird that this seasoned, trained cop has a hard time remembering things without the transcript, without going through the video? And yet the prosecution argues to the judge successfully that Woody, Slug, Sledge should remember almost verbatim what they said in police interviews 9-10 years ago. How is that fair, folks? How is that fair?
All right. I'm going to direct your attention to page 19 here. If you could quietly read that to yourself. Let me know when you've had a chance to refresh your recollection from that.
Your Honor, before he answers the question, I'm going to object to hearsay. What Mr. Hogan said during the interview to anyone would be hearsay.
He's
Out of court statement.
He's on the stand. He can repeat what he said.
That doesn't make it not hearsay, but
I mean, I can ask whether he asked somebody.
yeah, I think it's not hearsay in this circumstance, so overruled.
I mean, in this circumstance, it would be being,
That's overruled,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, and also, what have the prosecution done with witnesses this entire trial? Asking them what they said in an interview. Then they are party opponents. This guy is just a witness. But
so were you planning on getting Mr. Mitchell's Instagram records?
I may have been. It's hard to say. This is a lot of years ago. So
no, it's not.
Part of my tools that I use for in each.
It's not
Like,
that
or
many
any
years
case
ago.
that I have, that I work, if there's an opportunity to pull those, and I need those, then yes, but I don't remember if I wrote a warrant for his Instagram or not.
Okay. You said if you have the opportunity, you certainly had the opportunity, right?
Yes,
Okay. And with those, if you had them, you could come back to him and say, hey, was this true? Was this not true from what you told me, correct?
yes, I could, yeah.
Okay. And Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Uten, they were both cooperative, correct?
Yes,
So if you wanted to follow up with them, they gave you no indication that they wouldn't speak to you or anything like that. They were readily available.
Yes, not at the time they were cooperating with me that day, yes.
You didn't attempt to contact them any other times, though, did you?
I don't recall doing so, no.
Okay. So in this case, do you recall what search warrants you did take out?
No, not all of them, no.
Okay. Do you recall taking out warrants for Instagram records?
I do.
Do you recall whose records you requested?
No, I got little rods, I got Bally's. And without going through the index on my report, I can't tell you exactly, but I know I got little rods and I got Bally's. I got Rodelius Ryan's and I got Damon Blaylocks. May have gotten Mariah's and Brazy's as well, the Tyara Hartfield and Ms. Smith.
Okay. What was your purpose in getting those records?
As to any information there that might help with the investigation.
Okay. Did you look at those records?
Not personally, no. I looked at some of the pictures. It comes in a format. Again, as I indicated, I'm not a computer guy. I'm not even on social media. I gave that information to somebody who could put it in a format that was easier to read, and then those people looked through it and they let me know what they found.
So it wasn't for you to get more information. Someone else was supposed to get more
The
information.
information is going to come to me. It just didn't come through me.
So at what point did you get the information of what was contained in those Instagram messages?
When they gave it to me, I don't know what day it was.
Who's they?
I don't remember who the analyst was that did the examination of those records.
Okay. And the examination of those records, I would assume you included in your report?
Some of them, yes.
Some of them. Could you let me know then when? I assume if you put them in your report, it says then when you got them, correct?
It says when I put it in the report. Let me see.
I mean, that's something you would put in the report, right?
One that jumps out at me was from February the 26th of 2019. Somebody sent me an Instagram post on that day, and it was a short video that showed Mr. Ryan riding in a car.
Okay, but that's not the Instagram records, right?
It's from Instagram.
That's
Okay. I'm starting to believe that Atlanta Police Department, when they recruit, they have an 80 IQ limit. And I don't mean 80 IQ as the bottom line. Sir, Instagram records are records you get from Instagram after you ask for it, get a warrant for it, get a subpoena for it. You being sent something that somebody claims is from Instagram is not an Instagram record. But you are probably older than I am. And you may not know the back end of a smartphone.
not the Instagram records for which you obtained a search warrant to get so you could get more information, correct?
I haven't verified it, but if it came from his Instagram and I got a search warrant for his Instagram, then yes, it would be in there. I
Right.
just got it before I got the search warrant records back.
I'm sorry, if you could
It was
repeat that last
posted.
part.
It was posted. Somebody saw it. They sent it to me. If my search warrant had not been executed and the information sent back to me at that time, it would be included in both records, but I got it before the search warrant records came in because somebody sent it to me right after it was posted.
Okay, I think a second ago, because you said you didn't confirm it, right?
You're gonna have to, I don't understand what you're saying. I've confirmed it. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Well, I think about the content of the messages, you said you did not confirm with the records.
I just said I'm assuming.
Right.
If
He's assuming they are correct. He does no investigation if they are actually correct. He just assumes. Yeah.
it's in his Instagram records, I received it before the records came back from the search warrant.
No, that's not what Instagram records means. You received it from a third party, not from Instagram. That's not an Instagram record. But for this guy, it's the same thing, isn't it? I got it from somewhere. It's the same thing. No, it's not. Oh, God.
I'm assuming that that information that I received that day before the records came back would be in the records when they arrived to me.
Okay. So without those records, having looked at them, there was no way for you to go to Ms. Smith or Mr. Mitchell or anyone else and say, hey, you told me X, Y, Z, but your records say something completely different. Right?
I did not do that. No.
Okay. You could have done it though, right?
Yeah, sure.
And that
Oh. Miss Abbasi, I like you. I really do.
would have been confirming, right?
Sure, yes.
I want to ask you about what you testified to earlier about the actual crime scene. Mr. Abadi asked you questions about where you found certain things. Do you remember that?
Yes,
And you answered questions about where you found those 7.62 shell casings, right?
yes.
But you didn't actually find those casings, did
No, I did not.
you? Those photos, you weren't there when they were taken, right?
No,
You never saw where those 7.62 casings were.
not physically, no.
So when you say you found them, you didn't find them. Someone else did.
I said they were found. I'm not sure that I said I did.
Okay. When did you learn about those casings?
Later on the same day that the murder happened, I was at the office when I got the call.
Okay. And when you spoke with Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Uten, were you aware of those casings?
As I recall, it was around the same time. I don't remember exactly the sequence of events. But I spoke with them later on in the morning. It was sometime around the same, a lot of things were happening at the same time, that we got the call about the shell cases. That's one of the reasons I did not physically see them, because I was busy at the office. So I asked the responding officer to collect them and supervise that. But I don't remember the sequence of when exactly they came in.
Okay. Would it help refresh your recollection to see a copy from your trial testimony?
Sure.
I'm sorry, not your trial testimony, the last proceeding, several proceedings ago.
Okay, sure.
What did you actually do, Detective Bad Santa? What did you actually do to actually investigate? It sounds more like you assumed things, you put it in a report, handed it over to the prosecution, who then made a narrative of it and convicted somebody. Alda asks, if they aren't getting mistrial with prejudice, won't none of these guys take pleas without being assured time served and no chance of retrying the case, or else will go to the end? Judge Whitaker has already said she will not grant a mistrial with prejudice. So that is already out the window. what happened yesterday was that one attorney said to the judge's question, "Would you like a mistrial?" And one said yes. And that turned up to be in a sequence of events that led us to this morning, where every defense team, is having meetings with Fonnie Willis and Adrian Love. Probably talking about bond and pleas. Depending on the plea deals offered from the state or negotiated, we might have a mistrial, normal mistrial, without prejudice. Or it will continue. We don't know yet. Everything is still up in the air. Everything is still up in the air regarding this case. Until they come back at 11:30 or something, then we get confirmation of what will happen. I understand Alda, who says, I think mistrial with prejudice should be argued by defense. It's obvious the state is doing this intentionally. No attorney with this much experience makes the same mistakes daily. I agree, but the judge has already stated she will not do a mistrial with prejudice. So that is I think mistrial with prejudice should have happened when Judge Glanville was yeeted. But it's not. I don't think it will happen. But a normal mistrial, because Judge Whitaker said it almost as a challenge. She thought nobody would take the bait, and she was called out on it. Now she might not have a choice in the matter anymore. What if Abbasi refiles? I don't think Judge Whitaker unless Adrian Love, Miss Hilton, or any of the other ADAs brings out a gun and starts to threaten people, there will not be a mistrial with prejudice here. Because Judge Whitaker will not allow it. That's just my interpretation of how Judge Whitaker does her thing in the courtroom. Eric Redman, I can't wait for the movie of this trial. Who is going to play Woody? I volunteer. I would make a great Woody. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no. Maybe if I trim the beard enough, I could play Bruce Harvey. I mean, I have the hair for it. Hey, Stamp became a member. Yay! Thank you. And if anybody else is wondering, should I become a member or not? It's $3 a month. Or you can wait for somebody to gift a membership and hope that you are one of the selected. And then you will get access to all my members-only content. You will get access to members-only emojis and access to my Discord. Let's continue to listen to this cross-examination.
All right, I'm going to direct your attention to page 1076 from the prior hearing. Also turn to page 1078 if that's helpful as well.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. Thank you, Atheist Ant, for your very generous super chat. Asks, since propensity evidence is not allowed in court, would you be in favor of it not being allowed for probable cause for an arrest warrant? Oh. Oh, that's a rough question. I would say I am not in favor of it being allowed for probable cause, because prior acts or the general, oh, once a thief, always a thief kind of mindset should not be a basis for in a probable cause for an arrest warrant. Every case should rest on their own merits, in my opinion. Because, for instance, say what's his face? Alec Murdoch. Despicable person, absolutely vile person. He could be guilty of 99 out of 100 crimes. That still means he has to have the some presumption of innocence regarding even that last one, in my opinion. But thank you, Atheist Ant. That is very nice, and thank you for your monetary support of this channel. Thank you so much. And for you over at Twitter, that there is over, according to X, 500 people. Please leave a comment. Please leave a comment or press that heart thingy, retweet it. And for you 250 something over here at YouTube, as you might have noticed, I do not have mid-stream ads, because for me it just breaks the flow. I understand why others have it, but I choose to not have it, and all I ask in return is for you to press that thumbs up an uneven amount of times so you don't unlike it, and subscribe if you haven't done it yet. All right, thank you. Let's continue.
All right, so what's your question again?
If when you spoke with Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Uten, you were aware of the 7.62 shell casings.
I was aware that they described to me 2 shooters, but I don't recall if I knew about the shell cases at that time. I may have.
So you knew about 2 shooters, but that means you also must have known that she started out with seeing nobody and nothing, and then continued to only see 1, and then all of a sudden it's 2 plus guns. At what point, Officer Bad Santa, can't you just see that a lying liar who lies, probably to save her own behind because she may or may not have been involved in it.
I don't remember.
You said that they described to you 2 shooters?
Yes,
Okay. You've got a transcript in front of you, so you've testified about this before, correct? This matter?
yes.
Okay. And you don't recall the attorneys asking you at length whether anyone besides Ms. Smith mentioned 2 shooters?
I'll read here that they were asking me about that, yes.
Okay. And your testimony was that Ms. Smith was the only person who said there was 2 shooters, right?
Yes. That's what it says here.
And, I mean, when you,
Wait, before we get too far around here, let's make sure we got the right context.
if you want to flip to page 1100.
No, let me read these first.
Okay.
On page 1076, as I recall, they were asking me about my interview with Ms. Mitchell. And I had mentioned to her that I had 3 sets of shell casings. They were trying to determine if she.
Okay. Well, I don't need you to testify
Yeah,
about what someone
what-
else was trying to do.
So what I'm saying is context matters. In this particular instance, I was describing my interview with her. And in the process of the interview, when I was confronting her with evidence, I told her that I had 2 sets of shell casings.
Yes, I understand that.
Now he's getting annoyed because
You said page 1100?
now he's getting annoyed because this attorney is asking him hard questions that he has a hard time answering.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So having reviewed that page, Mariah was the only person who said there was 2 shooters, right?
According to that transcript, yes, ma'am.
That was your sworn testimony under oath, right?
That's what I said. Yes, yes, yes.
All right, so that was the truth that you said then, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to back up for a moment. I think you said Mr. Mitchell and Uten, they told you about not 7.62, but a weapon which would have fired larger shells. Is that right?
Yeah, they described a long gun coming out of the breezeway. Yes.
Okay. And when you were speaking with them, that was not consistent with the scene as you had seen it, right?
Again, I don't remember exactly when I got all the information about the shell casings. So at that point, I was getting his statement, and I took it as he gave it to me.
Did you not previously testify about the shell casings? I did not know about it when I interviewed Mitchell and Uten.
Okay, well, if my recollection was that then, I don't remember that now. If I didn't know what the shell casings then, if that's what I said, then that's what I said.
Okay. But you didn't confront them with what at that time would have been their testimony inconsistent with the scene, right?
No.
Okay. And they both told you 1 shooter.
I'm gonna object to hearsay.
The number of shooters they told you was not the same as Ms. Smith, correct?
That's the same question, just worded differently.
We've already been through this.
I'm going to overrule that one.
Bernard Mitchell described the shooter coming out of the breezeway, and also the shooter when he was going around. He was right beside. He described the person right outside the car, shooting in the car.
So that would
Described
be,
dreads and a hoodie.
he described to you 2 shooters based on what you just told me.
Yes, based on my just reviewing my interview with him the other day.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna have you take, so you don't recall testifying that Mr. Mitchell actually never said anything about two shooters?
I got a sneaking suspicion you're going to show me that I did. But as I sit here, I don't recall that, no.
You were able to review your interview with him, correct?
Yes, I did.
Okay. You still have that transcript in front of you?
No.
This obnoxious cop just sits there, and now he has the hat in his knee or his lap, and he simply doesn't remember, even though he himself said he had reviewed these things before today, and he still gets it wrong.
Oh, is this it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
You could take a look and see if that helps refresh your recollection about whether he told you there were two shooters.
It may or may not refresh his recollection, but I'm going to object to hearsay with Mr. Mitchell. I'm going to object to hearsay.
This is impeachment of what the officer previously said.
I'll let you ask about whatever he previously said.
Do you have a page or an area that I need to look through? Exactly, it's a long interview.
No, sir.
How many pages are we talking about?
Can't see, maybe about 20. I can't see if that's right. It could be more. You know what? We can come back to it. We'll probably have a break and you can take a look and get back to me.
Okay, sure.
Cool.
Oh, he's not doing well.
So when you went out to the scene at the time, you were looking to speak with other witnesses, correct? If there were any.
Originally, when I first got to the scene, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You were trying to speak with as many people as you could, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And you had access to the cab reports and the 911 calls, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you had access to the 911 calls themselves, correct?
Eventually, yes, I did.
Okay. And anyone you spoke with, you would have put that in your report, correct?
Yes, most of the general information. I don't necessarily put all the details, but yes.
Okay, but like their name, right?
Not always. If they don't wish for the name to be included, if I can exclude them, I will.
Fair. But you never spoke to the 911 callers, did you?
No,
Even though you had their name and contact information, right?
that's right.
Even though you were aware that one of them wanted to speak to the police, right?
If I was aware of that, I would have spoken with him.
All right. I'm going to approach you with what has already been previously admitted into evidence and marked as states 1 NN Nancy Nancy.
Okay.
Okay. And that is one of the cab reports you've reviewed, correct?
It appears to be a cab report from the case. I can't say I reviewed it, but this seemed to be from the case, yes.
So you didn't review the cab, you did.
Well, I look at it, I verify that it's got the right address on there, and if there's any information as the case progresses, and if I need to keep back in touch with anybody like a 911 caller, I would do that.
Okay. So you didn't see the.
And I would use a cab report to get that number.
Okay.
And in this particular case, I didn't see the instance to it. Didn't need it.
He didn't need it. And that is why you are looking like a jackass on the stand. Kat, if you have a strong case with solid evidence, this trial shouldn't last 150 plus days with 40-something mistrial motions, a recused judge, and song lyrics as evidence. I agree. In a strong case, the evidence speaks for you. In a strong case, you don't need to create a narrative. in a strong case, you don't need plea deals. You just put the defendant in the in the courtroom and you present the evidence. You have a decent opening statement telling the jurors this is what the evidence will show. Then you show the evidence, the witnesses, the physical evidence, some experts, then you rest. Then the defense goes up, tries to poke holes, and then you get a second stab. And they try to poke holes. Let me just bring in some more detailed to show you there is no holes in this case. And then you leave it to the jury. It shouldn't be harder than that. But for some prosecutors, not all, maybe half of them, they are elected. They need that 98, 99, 100% conviction rate. Otherwise, they won't be voted for again. For you who don't know, according to the Innocence Project, 1 in 20 convictions in a criminal trial are of innocent people, actual innocent people. 1 in 20, that's 5%. Then, on top of that, you have the cases where the evidence simply isn't there. So any prosecutor who claims they have more than 85% conviction rate is actively prosecuting innocent people, and they know it. But for them, they have to win. It's more important for them to win than get justice. All right, let's continue here.
You didn't need to see the person who wanted to speak with you?
I wasn't aware of that person.
So you didn't review the CAD?
I looked at the front page. I didn't read every word. No, ma'am.
Okay, so you didn't listen to the 911 calls?
No.
Okay. So if you're trying to speak to as many witnesses as you can, why wouldn't you speak to the 911 caller who wants to speak with you?
Again, I didn't get the word that they wanted to speak with me, or I would have. My plate was pretty full. I talked to a lot of people when I did a lot of work that day.
Oh, okay, you're too busy.
Yes, I was busy.
Okay. So when Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Uten, no, let me back up. The photos of the 7.62 shells, you didn't take those, correct?
I did not.
Okay, were they just sent to you? Is that right?
Yeah, they were included with the report. Yes.
Okay. And so is it from those photos you pieced together, say 10 NN that you've drawn a line on? Thank you. NN, you drew this line, correct?
I did.
Okay. And this Earth image or whatever it is, that accurately depicted the apartment complex as you observed it, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So, and the line on the left side where it starts, that's your belief, that's where the 7.62 shell casings were.
That's correct. Yes.
All right. I'm going to put up on the screen for you what has been admitted as 59 NN.
After she's done, I have prepared the pinch and zoom guy.
I don't know if it is.
You're going to love that one.
So looking at 59 NN,
Eric Redmond, does a plea deal make YSL a gang now? That depends on the wording in that plea deal. It all depends. They can plead to gang activity without mentioning YSL. And but we don't know. We don't know until we know. And we are not that far off now. It is 5 p.m. here, which means it's 11 a.m.
what is
Eastern
it
time.
you see
Eastern
next
Standard
kind of
Time.
that entryway, exitway, sidewalk to the building?
Well, I see a satellite dish and an AC unit.
AC unit. And then you were standing at that AC unit looking at the parking lot. What is to your right? With a line of bushes?
I'm turned around here. I don't understand what.
You're standing next to that AC unit with the AC unit on your right. You're looking at the parking lot. Do we have a line of bushes there?
Yes.
All right. Could you flip back to 10 minutes? So looking at 10 NN, officer, you said it was consistent. What happened to that line of bushes?
They're not there.
Okay, what happened to the AC unit?
It's not there.
So how is that possible?
Well, when I got the information from the officer about memorialized what he told me what he found, he said it's by the Y building. I was assuming that Y building was where I indicated right there.
Oh, okay, so you
on
just
that.
assumed that.
I did, yeah.
Okay.
It's in the.
He just assumed. He did. He probably didn't even take a second glance at this. So where's the AC unit? Where is it, Detective Bad Santa? Where is it?
Same complex. The picture with the shell casings is in the same complex. I think it's in the next building back in that little courtyard.
Okay. But so you didn't go out to the scene and see where those 7.62 casings were, right?
I've said that a couple times.
So you can't say for sure actually that 10 NN is even where those were found, right?
That's correct.
Okay,
I can say they came from the complex, but
Fair.
exactly where in the complex? I don't know.
fair.
In the complex, how many units are in that complex? 20, 50, 100? That says nothing. You would barely get a search warrant with, we found that near this complex. This is so stupid.
And with this image, I'm going to point you to, I guess I can't really point you to it. That corner right there, right?
Yes.
That's where Ms. Smith indicated one of the shooters would be, correct?
I don't recall that.
Where do you recall she said the shooters were?
She said, if my recollection is correct, she saw somebody walking down the breezeway.
Here?
Yes. I believe, yes.
Okay. So all those casings should be right there.
Yeah, but the buildings are very similar
Oh.
in design, and there's two sets. So there's breezeway, they go through both sets of buildings.
Okay. So they're very similar. So
So it's easily confused is what I'm saying as far as locations, because the buildings look very similar.
okay. So you may have been easily confused, right?
I was confused, yes.
Okay. And Ms. Smith, during the earlier parts of her interview, she had only talked about one shooter, right?
I recall she said she saw someone with a long gun, and she heard shots. I don't recall if she indicated whether there's more than one shooter or not. I don't remember that. Should I refer
Okay.
to something?
So what earlier on in the interview, or when in her interview, I think you talked about she said some things which weren't consistent.
Yep.
And then you consoled her.
Yes.
And then she was more consistent after that, right?
Yes.
So when was it that she began telling you, back this up. At what point between those did she go from one shooter to two shooters?
I know when she described to me, she said she described the two guys that she was with, and she described each one of them having a different kind of weapon. I recall that. I don't recall if she stated that she saw anybody shooting. She just stated that she heard shots and ran.
Okay.
Saw both of them with guns, but I don't recall if she said she saw them shooting.
My question was, when in her interview, before or after the consoling?
It was after the consoling.
Okay. Because before that, it was only one shooter, right?
I knew that story she was telling me was crap, so I really wasn't paying much attention to it.
Okay.
So I don't remember what she said.
And it was
Most of it was crap, and still, yeah.
between what was the consoling? I'll go there.
What was what?
When you consoled her.
Mhm.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm a husband and a father. I've got a daughter. I just spoke to her in a fatherly tone, assured her of her safety, and calmed her down and encouraged her to tell the truth.
Okay. But she didn't start doing that until after she was told to, I think, sing her ass off, right?
I don't recall if that was said or who said it.
You don't recall that.
I'm not saying it wasn't said. I just don't remember who said it. Yeah.
Okay. And there were discussions during that interview about whether she was implicating herself, right?
I don't recall.
Whether she could be going home or not?
Auntie M asks, so since it's likely that Lil Rod will be getting a retrial based on the officers admitting misspeaking during their trial and intimidating a witness, how would this affect the RICO trial? This might not be enough for a retrial. The appeals court can rule that is, in the totality of the circumstances, that thing does not sway them to give him a new trial. That's just the sad reality of it. But there's always a chance, but appeals are always for losers. Less than 1% of all criminal trials gets overturned on appeal or a new trial on appeal. The chances are extremely slim. That's just the sad reality.
I don't remember that.
She wasn't concerned with, or didn't seem as though she was concerned about getting in trouble?
She was concerned about getting in trouble, yeah.
Okay. And so I want to back it up. She came in, she's telling you a bunch of things, they're not adding up. You console her, and then she is telling you something consistent with the evidence, right?
Yes.
Okay. But that part didn't happen until you were the first one to bring up that someone had a rifle, right? As opposed to just a small gun, right?
I indicated that there were two types of shell casings, a rifle round and a small caliber.
Okay.
He indicated to a witness that she should testify, or she should in the interview admit to, or knowing that there were two types of guns. Is this allowed? Yeah, a cop can lie in an interview with a suspect or a witness. So yeah, she never mentioned rifle until he indicated to her she should say there was a rifle.
Before that, she had not described 2 types of rounds, correct?
Without, like I said, I haven't seen that interview in quite a while. I do not recall.
Okay.
This is
You're the one who brought up
impeachment.
a second person there to ambush, right?
I described 2 types of shell casings indicating that it was 2 shooters, yes.
Really? How is it? So in your mind, 2 shooters. Why couldn't it be one person with both a gun and a rifle? Or did it fit your narrative more? Detective Bad Santa?
Implication there is it's 2 shooters.
Okay, so you made that implication and then we had 2 shooters, right?
Yes.
Okay. What more did you do to confirm what she was telling you?
Yeah, Detective Bad Santa. What did you actually confirm with her new information if it was actually true? Did you?
And what, do you have an example that you'd like me to answer? Because she told me a lot.
Right. She told you about different things that Mr. Mitchell did or Mr. Uten did, right?
Yes.
And those weren't consistent with what you learned from them, right?
Yeah, they were fairly consistent.
Okay. So when you spoke to Mr. Mitchell, that's when you learned about him putting a gun to her head?
Oh, yeah, she did say that about him, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, that's the story and I didn't believe her, so I
Right.
forgot about it, yeah.
You didn't believe her, and yet she testified in that trial as a key witness. You didn't believe her, so you suggested things for her to say to make your case sound better.
So it would make sense if she's telling you these stories that you would want to confirm them, right?
If it's the truth, yes.
Right. And she told you things about, well, let me ask you. You never went back to Mr. Uten or Mr. Mitchell and asked about whether everyone had been chatting together, like she told you, right?
Oh, no, they described in their interview that they had been texting with the girls.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant that everyone, the defendants, everyone came out and was chatting together before this happened.
I don't think that came out with Mitchell and.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So they didn't say it, she did, but you didn't go back and say, hey, this witness told me this. No?
No.
Okay. And you didn't go back and look at her Instagram records, right?
I don't think so, no.
So you couldn't confirm whether
I am keeping a close eye on the different trial streams from court, and still no movement, just saying.
she said she'd been talking to the victim every day, right?
Bless you, the victim. No, I didn't.
Okay. You could have though, right? Because you said you got a records or you ordered them, did a warrant for them?
Yes.
Okay. And she told you about a specific type of van that Mr. Ryan's mother drove, correct?
Yes.
You didn't go check and see if she actually had a van like that, did you?
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
And that's in your report?
I don't think so, but I did do it. I noticed it. Let me go see. It might be in the report. We went to go talk to his mother.
She was cooperative, right?
She was.
You didn't ask to search the van, did you?
No.
And that van would have been, based on what you were told, used basically as a getaway vehicle, right?
Yes.
So it could have a murder weapon in it, right?
Yes.
Could have gunshot residue all over the steering wheel, right?
No, unless it was shot from the car.
Okay, those wouldn't transfer from someone's hands?
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe. But you didn't get a search warrant to check either of those things, did you?
No.
And within just a few hours, you had an address for Mr. Blaylock, correct?
I did.
And you didn't get a search warrant for that apartment either.
No.
So you made no effort to look for what would have been the alleged murder weapon, right?
Oh, that's correct.
Okay.
He never looked for the murder weapon. Never. He just assumed. And somebody is doing life in prison based on his assumptions.
Would have been useful, right? If you had that, that's great evidence.
I've worked 100 murders. I never got one.
Never.
Mr. Bassi, let's pause for a minute and
Listen to this again.
Evidence.
I've worked 100 murders. I never got one.
Never.
He worked 100 murder cases and never got one murder weapon. That is a completely new level of incompetence right there, Detective Bad Santa. Why are all or almost all detectives in the Atlanta PD so damn lazy? How did, I mean, I don't understand how did they get a conviction out of this garbage? Okay, they are taking a break, and through the magic of recapping, just skipping up.
What were the warrants you took out for Mr. Ryan?
For murder.
The only person who ever gave you any indication that Mr. Ryan knew Mitchell, Mr. Uten, the victim, anyone in the car was Mariah. She's the only person who said they knew one another, right?
You confused me a little bit. Say that again. Say it again.
The only person who said that Mr. Ryan knew Mr. Uten, the victim, Mr. Holmes, Mr. Mitchell, only person who said they knew each other was Mariah, correct?
I don't recall that.
Did you look at your interview?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I did, but I forgot what you asked me for to be looking for in there.
Okay.
Maybe it's a question. Ask me each person at a time. So Mariah, you're saying Mariah said she knew Mitchell.
No.
Mariah told you was the only Mariah indicated, whether through this or something else, Mr. Ryan had some contact, knew the existence of Mr. Uten, Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Holmes, right? You never went to any of them and said, hey, do you know this guy?
No.
Okay. And they never, gave you any names saying, I think it was this person, or I have a problem with this, nothing.
They who?
Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Uten.
They said they did not know who shot at them.
Had no idea.
That's correct.
And didn't ask them if they, had any problems with Mr. Ryan or Mr. Blaylock, right?
Yeah, they're correct. Yeah.
Okay. And Mariah, she never told you anything about being locked in a basement, did she?
I don't recall that, no.
Okay. And she didn't tell you anything about Mr. Blaylock attacking her, did she?
Other than when Mr. Blaylock. Oh, no.
Okay.
No, not that I remember.
All right. And so based on the evidence you had, the person who fired the 7.62 was tall, right?
He was described as being tall, I believe. Just
All
a
right.
second. Let me double check it. Just a second.
Yeah, Ryan is not a tall person. Let's just say that.
And I can get you a transcript of your interview with Mr. Uten if that further helps. too,
I
right?
bet you can. Let's see. Yes.
Okay. So Mr. 7.62 is tall. And based on all of that evidence, was your conclusion that Mr. Blaylock was the one with 7.62, right? Page
Go-
18?
Page 18. Of what? Which one am I looking at?
Your report.
Well, if you got a page 18, you're doing better than me. I got 17 pages.
Oh,
Okay, wow. You got more than me.
Yeah, maybe this
Okay, I
wannabe
see,
cowboy,
what you
maybe this wannabe cowboy cop should return to the savannah and chasing cows instead of pretending he does actual police work. And he's a 37-year veteran. 37-year veteran. And this is the absolute pinnacle of his abilities. Jack shit is the absolute pinnacle of his abilities as a cop.
referring to, yes.
yep. So final conclusion you came to based on everything you reviewed was that Mr. Blaylock had the rifle.
That's what I wrote, yes.
Gotcha. All right. So we have rifle rounds, and then we have all these other casings from a smaller gun, from a 9mm, correct?
Yes,
All right. And those casings were found very, very close to the vehicle where the victim was, correct?
there were casings on top of the car, yes.
Okay. And casings on top of the car, you don't know how they got there, did you? Or do you?
I didn't see them be placed there or fall there, no.
Okay. Did you speak?
How the frick does the shell casing get on top of the car? I'm trying to visualize it in any event. Now, some casings from rifles go slightly to the right and forward. Most do, depending on which type of rifle you actually have. If it's a left-handed rifle, then it's left and up, or and to the side, going forward. But on the roof of a car, then that person must have been more or less sticking the rifle into the car. And there would be gunshot residue exactly everywhere. And if that person was that close, the people in the car would have seen at least something about who or how many.
To the EMS, the emergency services people who would have been there responding?
They were gone when I got there.
Okay, so you're not sure whether they had to move anything to get to Mr. Holmes?
It was obvious that the hat we found on top of the car was placed there by someone.
Right.
I don't know who. But I guess it's plausible that somebody would say, hey, there's a shell casing, let's put it on top of the car.
Yeah, so they wouldn't want to lose it.
Don't know why they do that, but yeah.
Okay. So you discussed with Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Uten whether they had guns, correct?
Yes,
They both had guns, right?
yes.
And you never asked them if they shot, did you?
Mitchell said his gun was empty.
Okay.
Uten,
He said his gun was empty. Did you check it? If it was correct?
I don't recall ever asking that specific question.
Right. You didn't ask him what kind of a gun he had, right?
I don't recall
Okay.
asking him.
You asked him what happened to it though later, right?
Yes.
And he indicated to you that you should.
Yeah, all of this is hearsay. What Mr. Whoever indicated to whoever.
Sustained.
Okay. Did you have an occasion to either you yourself or have somebody go looking in the woods for a firearm?
Wasn't me, but yes.
Okay. And beyond that, you did not have any follow-up to tracking down those guns, right?
That's correct.
All right. And your reason for that, you previously testified, was you had no reason to, right?
I had no further leads. Once we tried to find them and couldn't, based on where they said they put them,
Okay.
there was nowhere else to go.
So you had
Did it never occur to you, Detective Bad Santa, that they were lying?
no reason to try and find out whether Mr. Putin was the one who fired all those 9mm.
Say that again?
So you had no reason to try and figure out if Mr. Putin is the person who fired all those 9mm.
Right, I didn't try.
Because if he did, that would be your second shooter, right?
Your Honor, objection calls for speculation.
Sustained.
You at some point had an occasion to review Mr. Mitchell's Instagram records, correct?
Again, I'm not a computer guy.
Far later.
I allow other people on the team examine those. I trust them in what they can do because it's their a teenager is better than me on that stuff.
Yep.
So I looked at the report or what was given to me. Did not do a deep dive. No, ma'am.
No deep dive. You didn't look at them.
Say it again.
No deep dive. I mean, you did not look at them, right?
I don't recall if I did. Yeah.
Okay. So you never
Half an hour ago, he said he got the records. Oh,
did any follow-up with Mr. Mitchell about him shooting back, did you?
No.
But you learned that at some point he said he did, right? Or they did.
Yes, I did hear that. Yes.
Thank you, Detective.
Oh, you're welcome. You give me this stuff back?
I mean, these cross-examinations are so good. They more or less ruined that case because this jackass did nothing. And he just perjured himself, more or less. Oh, if only Mr. Ryan had these lawyers for that trial. Oh, the outcome could have been different. Let's see here. Oh, let's continue because here comes Mr.
Are
Shaw.
there
We are
other
still
defense
waiting.
counsel with questions for this witness?
We are still waiting for court to return or to start today. We are still waiting for it to happen. I see no real updates from the people who should know. I do see that Law and Crime has a new start time at noon. So half an hour. So 11 a.m. came and went. We are at 11:30. I also have up here Atlanta News First, who also have access to the court feed, and still nothing. So let's listen to Mr. Shaw as well during cross-examination. And then if we have time, I'm going to show you Pinch and Zoom guy. Pinch and Zoom guy.
Good morning, Detective Hogan.
Did take the time. Good morning. Good morning.
We've met before, but my name is Max Sharp. I represent Shannon Stillwell, okay?
Okay.
All right, and the case that we're talking today does not involve Shannon Stillwell at all, does it?
Not that I know of. No.
Okay. I just wanted to ask you one question on cross. You were asked about testing a car, the inside of a car for gunshot residue.
Right. Yeah.
And you responded that it would not make any sense to do so unless a gun was shot from that car, correct?
That would be the most obvious reason to do so. Yes.
Okay, so if a gun is shot from inside a car, if your investigation leads you to believe that a gun was shot from inside a car, you certainly would test for gunshot residue, correct?
If there was any question that a gun was used inside the car, so if there's an allegation that it was, and there was reason to believe that it wasn't, we needed to prove that a gun was used in the car, then certainly we should process inside the car for gunshot residue.
Okay, when you say process inside the car for gunshot residue, what does that mean?
Well, we asked the ID unit. I've watched them do it several times. They have a Q-tip and they swab areas, and they preserve that Q-tip, which gets sent to the GPI crime lab. And then they do their analysis there with bank stuff over there to say if there's any presence of gunpowder, I guess is what it is.
And we're talking about microscopic particles,
Yeah,
right?
if you shoot a weapon anywhere, if somebody shot in here, the residue would be however tiny, microscopic, but it would be here on everybody, everywhere.
It would go all over.
Yeah, it goes everywhere.
Okay, and you would ask the collection team, we'll say, to the crime scene technicians, I guess is the formal term, correct?
Yes.
You would ask them to collect from different areas within the car.
That's correct.
Are there any specific areas that you would have them focus on?
I generally let them do their job. They know more about that stuff than me. I ask them to process it and I allow them to do it.
Okay.
So wherever areas they are. The GBI has been a little more stringent on their testing of that. They're getting away from gunshot residue because of the fact it goes everywhere. It doesn't really prove anything.
Okay, so the concern when they're going away from it is not that it gives false negatives, but it gives false positives.
Right. So for example, if you're a gunshot victim, you're obviously a gunshot victim. Guys that in the past I know have tried to test them for gunshot residue. Well, that's kind of silly because they are a gunshot victim. They're going to have gunshot residue on. Also, the fact that if they're in a room such as this or other people, and somebody shoots, and then that person gets away, but somebody else is alleged to be the shooter. Well, if he was in the same room, he's going to have gunshot residue on him as well because it goes everywhere.
So it sounds like
Folks, it's also about the concentration of gunshot residue. A person in the same room will only have a few parts per million. The person holding the gun will have lots more, specifically hands. The victim will have very focused around where the gunshot actually hit. But people close, yeah, they will show may show. But it's the concentration of it. And that you can only get through testing. And by that, you can find out more or less if person A said he stood over here, person B stood over here, person C stood over here, and then somebody right over here. And then you can see that guy over there, very little concentration. That person up here, person A, a lot, specifically on his hand. And those two people have gunshots. Then you can assume it's not that guy who fired the shot. Get what I mean? Yeah.
what you're saying, if you get a positive result from gunshot residue, it may be unreliable for proving what you're intending it to prove.
You don't necessarily have to be the shooter if you're in the room when the shot went off.
But if you get it, but from what I'm understanding, if you get a negative, that's still a reliable result. It's just the positives can mean different things.
Yes.
All right, great. And in your experience at times, you said you defer to the experts on the collection method. Have you known them to remove different parts of a car for further testing for gunshot residue?
Yes. Oh.
Sustained.
I can approach it. It is going to be relevant.
All right, I'll give you.
And I'm just going to ask one more question. Is one of those parts that the experts remove at times the headliner of the car?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
You're welcome.
Any other defense? Go ahead.
According
morning.
to
Good morning, Mr. Steele.
How are you?
Mr.
I'm great, thank you.
Steele.
I'd like to ask you, in your work, have you ever had the need or the opportunity to ask for and secure surveillance cameras from businesses?
Several occasions, yes.
Okay.
Mr. Steele and his surveillance camera. He's again showing the jury that Gaither, Thorpe, and Dennis are morons who claims they never went for and didn't find, it was erased, but no reports that actually says. and almost every cop Mr. Steele have asked these questions from, yeah, of course, you collect, as soon as possible, you collect surveillance video. The McDonald's surveillance, yeah, again, the McDonald's surveillance cameras, the surveillance videos.
You tell the ladies and gentlemen jury, in your experience, have you ever had a surveillance camera operation where it would be a specific period of time that was captured? The images were captured by the surveillance camera.
Sure. Every system's different. There are some, from my experience, some common denominators. Most surveillance systems capture a certain period of time. It's generally around 2 weeks. And after those 2 weeks time period, it stops. You can kind of imagine that you're shoving the video into a tube, and as it comes out, there's just so much space to capture and to maintain. So as you capture more video, it starts falling off the backside after 2 weeks. So for example, if 3 weeks ago there was a crime that we became aware of, and we needed to try to get the video, we call if it's past that 2 week time period, the video is no longer accessible. It's been deleted. It's been overwritten and it's gone.
So in your example about the 3 weeks, so a video can hold up to 2 weeks of information, is what you're telling the jurors in our example.
It's kind of a general rule, Brian. But there are systems that capture and they keep them for long periods of time, but those are expensive to maintain, and that's pretty rare that we have, but they're out there.
So if, just hypothetically, if we start on day 1 and the surveillance equipment can hold 2 weeks, so on day 14, from day 1 to day 14, it's all there if it's all working correctly. That's what I hear you say.
Yes.
I'm gonna object to relevance.
It goes back. Now on day 15, so day 14 ends, now it's day 15. Are you telling the jury that in your experience, day 1 is now gone, so now we'd have from day 2 to day 15?
That's my experience, yes.
Okay. Have you ever, tell the ladies and gentlemen jury, on day 15, so day 15 starts, all day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 are gone?
Without a catastrophic failure of the system, I have never heard of that. No.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
And he answered honestly. He has never in his 37-year career heard of that kind of erasing of records. Never. How about that?
Anybody else?
No question.
All right, redirect.
And I don't care about redirect. Let's see if there is recross. I actually don't recall. I don't think it was. No, it wasn't. All right, folks. It is time to watch Pinch and Zoom guy. We have roughly 20. I'm keeping a close watch on when they return. But Law and Seaward have their stream at noon at a starting time. They might show up sooner, but we don't know. We don't know unless the cameras get rolling. Now, folks, a treat from, I think this is even December 2022. I'm not entirely sure. This is, let's see what it says. Dun, dun, dun. December 20th, 2022. This guy, the prosecution wanted in as a forensic video analyst. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Pinch and Zoom guy.
Good morning, Mr. Pineda.
Good morning.
Mr. Pineda, where are you employed, sir?
I self-employed and I work for a company called Marathon Photo.
Okay. And just so everyone can hear you in the back, I'm going to need you to lean forward and speak to the mic a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And how long have you been employed in that position?
I've been doing video enhancement for almost 30 years.
Okay. And what were you, how were you employed previously?
I was employed by a company called Pinkerton. I went there until the company closed down. and I went independently.
And can you tell us a little bit about your educational background?
I got a degree in professional photography and design.
Okay. In your current position, how did you become involved in that line of work?
The company that I was working for, we were taking care of financial institutions, taking care of people that were doing forgeries and bank robberies. So I was able to be trained by the company to be able to get the images that they needed for the person that committed the crime.
And do you have any relevant training or?
The company trained me at the time.
Okay,
Because back then it was film.
sure. How do
And
you see
then-
it? I'm sorry.
Back then it was film. Then it became video or VHS, CDs, and then hard drives.
Mr. Pineda, how do you stay up to date on your training?
I follow the training on the experience that I have to do the same things on new cases.
Do you have any specific, like, continuing courses that you
Yes,
take?
I do. I became a bilingual interpreter in legal, medical, and educational interpretation.
Let's listen to that question again.
Things on new cases.
Do you have any specific, like, continuing courses that you
Yes,
take?
I do. I became a bilingual interpreter in legal, medical, and educational interpretation.
What does that have to do with the video enhancing? Anyone? Your guess is as good as mine.
What kind of certifications have you obtained?
That will be the legal and the medical interpretation certification at UGA.
Approximately how many, video enhancements have you performed over the course of your career?
I would say it's thousands.
Your Honor, at this time, I move to admit state's proposed exhibit 10. May I approach the witness?
All right, has that exhibit already been shown to defense counsel?
Yes, it's been served in discovery.
Right, in discovery?
Yes, Judge.
All right, you may approach the witness.
Mr. Pineda, do you recognize this document?
I do.
What is it?
My resume?
Has there been any alterations or changes to that document?
No, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, I move to admit state's proposed exhibit 10, previously served to defense counsel. Acceptance.
Any objection to states 10? Purpose of the motion. All right, states 10 is admitted.
Mr. Pineda, have you been qualified as an expert before?
I do.
What states?
Georgia,
Okay. And what courts?
state,
About how many times would you say?
over 50 times.
Okay, only state.
Can
not
you
federal.
describe for the
Okay.
court the method video enhancements are performed?
Yes, I do. When I get a video, I check the images, the quality of the video. When I get to find the image that I'm interested in, I will divide the image or the screen in 4 sections, and I will get 1/4 of that section to follow up on the particular image or interest of the image to enhance the video.
Okay. What kind of results can be expected from, enhancing video evidence?
The result could be a better view of the evidence given by the prosecution.
Is this type of video enhancement, like you described, just described for the court, have other law and agencies used this type of service?
Yes, they have.
Just prosecution?
Prosecution, defense attorneys, police departments, GVI, and FBI.
Okay. And as far as you know, is it generally accepted?
Yes, it is.
Are there any kind of standards or like control, how video enhancements are performed?
You have to follow a protocol, meaning when you divide the images in 4 sections, that 4 will have to be like, get the first image, and if it's too small, then you go to a bigger image, And if he wants it to be bigger, then you go to a bigger image.
So if it isn't enhanced enough, you zoom a bit more. Now, that's not the protocol this lawyer is asking for. He's asking for the protocol. Okay, what method are you actually using to do this? Oh, and folks, it gets better. Or worse.
And that standard that you just described for the court, did you follow those procedures?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What did you enhance in this case?
In this particular case, I enhanced 2 videotapes or 2 videos, one from a parking lot area by a car driving by and a gas station.
Okay.
Let's see here. All right. We have video from today. Well, it's just the seal, but that means Judge Whitaker more or less have approved the start of stream. So we are getting close. Let's see. So nothing was... No, just the seal. All right, folks, we are getting close. It might be on the top of the hour, or she can just start. We don't know. But soon we will find out if there actually is a mistrial. And if it is, what kind of deals were made with Fani Willis and Adrian Latrell Love. Oof. Yeah. I don't know what to say more than a bit caution, because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if it's either a mistrial without prejudice or it's not, and trial resumes, because maybe they changed their mind because they weren't offered a good enough deal. Or there will be, it's one of the 2 options. Either the deals offered from the state is good enough, and there will be a mistrial, or it's not. That's more or less the 2 options we have here. Now, it might be that one of them gets a good enough deal and takes that, depending on mistrial. Remember, folks, every attorney in there, every set of attorneys in there represents their client and their client alone. I would hope they cooperate, but you never know. If somebody gets one, I'm not naming names at all, but just for speculation, one of the defendants who isn't currently in prison gets a good enough deal and takes it. Yeah. Then it's still a mistrial. But that could leave the others out hanging. I don't think so, but we need to be realistic in what options there are, because it will be either a mistrial or trial resumes. Those are the only 2 options now. The results of the plea deals or bond hearings or whatever happened, I don't know if we will find that out, because if it is a mistrial, Judge Whitaker will announce it, and that might be the end of it. And the stream cuts to black, and we have to wait for bond hearings and plea deal hearings. I have no clue. I don't know. No Cure San says, I hope they coordinate. If some disappearance state says they took a deal, it could be viewed by jury as the state is winning and the defendant took a way out. Yeah. For Fonnie Willis, she needs to make this look like a win. And I said this early on. For Fonnie Willis to even come close to making this seem like a win, if it is a mistrial, is some plea deals that she can spin and fire Adrian Love. She needs a scapegoat. Auntie M. I don't know, Nick. Do you take a plea admitting to RICO after the others who testified were yoked around? These guys have been in jail for over 2 years. Oh, we have movement. We have movement. Or is it just the camera guy? We have movement. I don't know why there was movement. They had the camera on the seal. That is normally enough. We have no sound. I'm checking with... Yeah, Atlanta News First has the same image. His love shoved the camera. Yeah, probably. John Commune, thank you for your super chat, $2. Fire love after that motivating letter she sent. Oh, those are more common than you would ever imagine. Letters of encouragement followed by a kick in the arse. Those are more common than you would imagine. I work with labor law. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those. Yeah, movement. Oof, this is... Oof. And cut to black. I did not expect that. I did not expect that. Let's see. Infamous. Oh, she's not even... Infamous Sly isn't even live. Infamous Sylvia. Yeah, not even live. I don't know why. What's going on? I'm just as much in the dark as anybody else. Let's see with Dennis Byron. No news. Thug Daily. Nothing new, as I can see. Kathy Russon. Volume up. Yeah, it just went black. I have no idea why. I'm just as much in the dark. The latest from Kathy Rosen is, we are in the courtroom, watch live. That's it. So I'm just dancing here. Stream went black. Where did the feed go? Yeah. Yeah, but infamous Sylvia, I can't. She has no live. The infamous slide channel. No, she stopped streaming 10 minutes ago. Are we behind? No. It's all up to live. So we're not behind. Let me. Yeah. Atlanta News First went to this image. Yeah, I know Infamous Sylvia has 2 channels. I'm checking both of them, Infamous Sly and Infamous Sylvia. She's not live. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. Kathy has an update. Okay. To clarify, she says, they let our photograph in to set up and turn on and then made him leave. No media is currently in the courtroom. Judge is talking with attorneys. Someone, likely the bailiff, turned our camera off. And now we only have black. Oh, seriously? Oh, that I think I know which bailiff it is. He's been kind of an asshole this entire time. But this also might be Judge Whitaker's ex parte meeting outside of record with all the defendants, all the attorneys, and the prosecution. Yeah, they turned the cameras off. And I'm furious. Don't know what to update you with, guys, because yeah, this is the feed. Question from No San. How often are pleas argued in courtroom one by one? And I assume while the judge is there, something is off when thinking of it. No, that is real. I don't think that is what happened. I think what happened is that the pleas are negotiated between the states. state and the defense attorneys. Then they will present that to the judge. The judge in itself, I don't think, can be involved in that plea agreement negotiations. What she can do is make rulings on them when she gets it, and that is in a plea agreement hearing. So I have no idea. I'm as much in the dark as you guys are. Hey, thank you. Yeah, I just write stuff and then I put on X. I just write stuff that I think is important and then I pop a hashtag on it, and once in a while it takes off. But I'm nowhere near. I mean, I have X premium, but I'm nowhere near the 5 million whatever it's called, views or engagements or anything that is necessary to even apply for monetization on X. I'm not even halfway there. And I think I do important stuff. I think I write important stuff on X. And while I do that, I see somebody posting somebody else's meme and get 5 million views on that. But that's the way it is. People prefer to be entertained by something that is not not trial or law or anything serious. Oh, I can show you that one again if I can. Oh, I know where to find it. I got it emailed to me. So we can check that again while we wait.
I'm gonna turn it down because you can't really hear something.
Mm-hmm. This is infamous Sylvia catching when Miss Love found out that Miss Hilton almost caused a mistrial. And she's really, really angry. And I don't know why, because Miss Love is a walking, talking mistrial in itself.
Look at her face, y'all. Look at her face. Look at her face. Hilton was right there.
Here it comes.
Look at her, y'all. You look at her. Look at her, y'all. Look at her. Look at her. Look at look at her. Look at her. Look at her. Look.
I can watch that over and over again. Look at that head snap. What? What? Oh, that is so.
Look at her, y'all. You look at her. Look at her, y'all. Look at her. Look at her. Look at look at her. Look at her. Look at her. Look.
Oh, that is so much fun. Yeah, still nothing from the trial. it seems like, as Kathy Rosen explained, they let this photographer in, they let him set it up, and then they made him leave, and then a bailiff turned it off. So we don't know what's going on. Sound was off. I don't know if he can control that remotely. Yeah. Yeah, so we are waiting for the photographer to be allowed in again. I would imagine Law and Crime is furiously calling him to try to get back in, but yeah. Checking. Yeah, no, nothing on social media, no leaks, no nothing. Yeah. I'm going to fetch myself something to because I'm getting thirsty over here. What? No code? No court today? Yeah. What? So they called everybody in and then they announced no court today. Now, my interpretation is that Dennis is live. Hold on. Where are you, Dennis? No, there. Dennis Byron is live. Where? No? Yeah, it's the same thing. Oh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey. Okay, this is what's happening. Sergeant Ingram just came out of the courtroom and said, we are, and there's a strong possibility that there won't be court tomorrow. So that's significant. That is significant because it was scheduled for tomorrow. And if they're in negotiations and they shut it down for today, very clear.
Yeah,
so the fact that they're not letting media in, they're still working. They're in the courtroom, but they're not letting media in.
That tells me there are negotiations and that the judge is allowing them to use the courtroom. My interpretation might be wrong, don't know. My interpretation of this is negotiations are ongoing regarding plea deals and possible bonds. because I don't see a reason to postpone this unless both parties, the state and the defense, are claiming to the judge, we need time to work this out. Okay, Law and C would flip to Sarah Boone. Yep, they did. So yeah, in my experience, remember, I've been doing negotiations in labor law for over 30 years. I've been for the past 30 years.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. Sergeant Ingham just came out and told members of the press that there's no court today, meaning the lawyers are in the courtroom, but no media is in the courtroom. So my guess is they're hashing things out. And he said there's a strong possibility that it won't be court tomorrow. So what you can deduct from that is that they've either hashed everything out today and it won't be court tomorrow. And we'll find out whatever it is at some point. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in the media room right now. I am in the media room, and I have two of my colleagues in the room. They're just waiting for their cue to do whatever. But yes, I told you I was going to stay here to the end. I was going to stay to the end. I'm going to post that exclusive shortly. I want to post it shortly. I might as well post it, ladies and gentlemen. We got 24,000 people watching. I'm going to post that other shot, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to post it. I got to watermark it. You know I got to watermark it because I already know you guys are going to be snatching it up. I'm going to watermark it. With that, ladies and gentlemen, give me a few minutes. Let me go ahead and do the watermark and share with the world. It's going down, ladies and gentlemen. Stand by.
Yeah, I kind of agree. In my interpretation of this, as I said, negotiations is going good enough for the.
Say hi to everybody. So look, don't run now. Don't run. Come on, guys. We're a team here. Come on, man. Come on, brothers. We're a team here. Don't be shy now. Yeah, we standing strong here in the media room. Don't play with us. Shout out to the New York Nets.
Okay.
What outlet you with? There you go. See?
As I said, in my interpretation, through my experience, and I've been doing a lot of I've been doing somewhere in the ballpark of between 30 and 50 negotiations per year the last 30 years. I've been doing this for a while. And my interpretation is that the negotiations are going well enough for both the state and the defense to tell the judge we need time to hash this out, get it on paper, and then we will present you our findings, and then you can make the official ruling. That is my interpretation. If it is correct or not, we will find out eventually, but not today. Not today, folks. Maybe not even tomorrow. What I will be doing tomorrow is, and I already have the stream up, or I have prepared the stream for best of cross-examinations. And we will be doing that for a few hours before the Friday panel show. The usuals are invited. We will probably speculate wildly. And if there is news tomorrow, of course, we will talk about that. So that is what's going on tomorrow. And if people are generous enough tomorrow, I will bring out the Wheel of Regrets. If you don't know what the Wheel of Regrets is, that is you gifting memberships, doing super chats, or via PayPal, or buying my merch. Enough for me to spin the wheel and then either have a drink or some hot sauce just for entertainment purposes. So we will find out eventually, but sadly, that eventually is not today. I mean, I hoped we would be done today. I really did. But that's not what these people say. And the defendants are the ones who have final say. They always have. But we will be in the dark for at least 18 more hours. But I will be live tomorrow from roughly 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, something of the sort. I will be live tomorrow, and I will be, if if the court feed shows up, I'm going live immediately. But that's all I have for you. That's my interpretation. That's my understanding based on my experience. And let's see. We will find out if I'm correct or not. But sadly, not today. Sadly, not today. And yeah. I'm going to send you over to Kat Not Williams. They might have a lot to talk about that I don't. Tell her to send me an invite if she wants me on. I will pop over. But yeah, I will see, unless Kat Not Williams has me on, I will see you all back here tomorrow. All right. And first of all, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do this. Thank you for allowing me to try to interpret this fustercluck of a trial. And remember, we are not an unindicted co-conspirator. And free Thug. And hug your family, folks. Unless your family is crap, then screw them and give your love to the people who deserve it. All right? See ya. Bye-bye.
In the courthouse where time stood still, generations pass on the hill. Prosecutors come and go, defense attorneys putting on a show. Old district attorney thought she was tight, came in to visit her tonight. They said justice was blinded by her sins. As the trial spun, no one wins. Endless trial like a river flows. Truth and lies, nobody knows. Corruption's grip tight as a vice. In this endless trial we pay the price.